Today we're going to be looking at Chapter 3, Module 3, Managing Time and Study Space. One of the big issues when talking about time management is procrastination, the act of putting something off. It's doing something that's a low priority instead of doing something that's a high priority. So, for example, I may be, texting a friend and involved in a conversation, but I have a paper due in an hour and I really need to get that done. And so procrastination is a natural human tendency, but it's something that really can be a barrier for students. So the first thing is really sort of paying attention to when you're procrastinating, and then we'll look at some effective tools for reducing procrastination. So some ways to combat procrastination. One, keep your studying bite-sized, meaning keep it small. Break larger assignments into smaller chunks. So for example, if you have a 5 to 7 page type paper due in 3 weeks, maybe give yourself a deadline of this week to create an outline. Really simple thing of just creating an outline. Then start to go maybe contact the library and get some of your resources. And then maybe in a week you'll have a draft, and then maybe you'll visit the writing center and get some feedback on that draft, and then in 3 weeks you'll be ready to hand that paper in, rather than starting, say, the night before. Even though we're going to talk about pressure cookers in a second, you could feel like you do your best work under pressure. A lot of times it may not be your best work. Number two, turn off your phone or other devices that can be distracting. Treat your studying as if you're in a movie theater and just turn it off for that brief period of time that you might be studying. Again, we talked about this in the last module, but setting up a reward system for yourself. If I get these assignments done, then I'm going to take some time to kind of play on my phone and unwind, or maybe I'm going to binge watch some shows. But create that reward system for yourself so you're getting work done, but you're also allowing yourself that time to kind of decompress. Try to study in a place that's reserved for studying only. And I know this can be hard if you've got a big family or lots of stuff going on at where you're living, but trying to kind of carve out a little space for yourself where that becomes your place for studying. That could also be a public library down the street. It could be the campus. It could be a campus of another college that you happen to live near. So try to find a space where you can do your work without as many distractions as possible. Use checklists and to-do lists. Seeing yourself making incremental accomplishments can really help to motivate you. Crossing off that thing on a checklist is really helpful. And six, create a new association with a current habit. So, for example, you wake up every morning, maybe you have your breakfast or your coffee. I would then add checking your MCC email to that. So you check your MCC email early in the morning. Is there some things that you need to take care of? Or maybe in the morning when you're having your coffee or your breakfast, you create your weekly to-do list. So adding something related to getting your work done to a current habit can really be helpful. Use MCC resources to help you, such as the Circle In app that will connect you to classmates, and you'll see notes that people post. You could post notes. It's a great way to study, especially when we're more virtual and remote. Tutoring, either in person or online through TutorTrack. Also, MCC has Thinking Storm, which is a 24-hour tutoring service. So check that under T for tutoring on our A to Z index. And Starfish is, again, that online system that's your support network. Many professors keep attendance in Starfish. You can make appointments with certain offices through Starfish. So make sure you check out Starfish on your MyMCC account. So 3 steps to good time management. First, identify your time management style. In our textbook, there is an assessment that will, based on your answers, give you your time management style. And try to work within that, because chances are if you're not really a morning person, typically, you might not do your best work in the morning. So work with the style that you're more naturally gravitate towards. Create a schedule. I often refer students to create a free college scheduler online. and try to stick to it. You know, put down your work, put down things first that are not movable, your work, your family commitments, then schoolwork, if you're attending classes in person or remotely, or if you're online. Give yourself blocks of time that, generally speaking, you might be able to focus on your schoolwork, and then try to stick to it. And three, get better at prioritizing. What's due in a week, 2 weeks from now? What do I have to sort of break down? What do I need to be working on today? And then also giving yourself breaks while you're studying. Look up the Pomodoro strategy, right? Where you spend a certain amount of time on task and then a certain amount of time off task, giving yourself a break. So you're going to hopefully take the assessment in the textbook on the time management personalities, and they could be an early bird. You could be a pressure cooker where you do your best work under pressure. Improvisers kind of make it up as they go, and the balancing act is sort of a combination of things. Knowing your time management personality is important because then you could recognize certain traits within that time management personality that are helping you and some traits that may be hindering you, and take action. So the time management chapter and module is really an opportunity for you to really look at how are you spending your time. And success with any goal is really, really important that you follow this 3-part process. Again, sort of like what we're doing here. You've identified your long-term, midterm, and short-term goals in the last module, and then set your priorities to accomplish these goals. Right? So, okay, I want to get my degree. So my priority during this semester is really working on my assignments. That may mean I need to say no to certain social commitments or other things during this time period because this is my priority. And then manage your time according to the priorities you've set. Like I said, create that schedule for yourself and make these priorities. 1, family time. 2, if you're working, put that in. 3, maybe you have a spiritual practice, put that in. Schoolwork, how much time, and how much time you can find in our textbook, how much time you should be basing on school for preparing, reading, writing things, doing assignments. You can kind of gauge how much time do you need to spend during the week. And again, I know it's hard for everybody, but trying to carve out a little bit of space where it could be just about you and studying, even in a busy, chaotic household, trying to find a spot that's going to be conducive to your learning. Trying to keep the area clean and neat, use visual reminders. One of my students put a little tag on her computer screen that said, "This is for you." Right? She works all day helping others. She has her family who she helps. When she sits down after everybody's to bed and she's looking at her computer screen, she's reminded that this is for her. And that can go a long way in helping you stay motivated. So again, this module is about you really analyzing how are you managing and spending your time and what changes can you make to improve. So good luck.